Hello everybody, welcome to MJX Movies. Today I'll be yakking the film Thunderbolts, with an asterisk, from 2025, directed by Jake Schreier. In this movie, we open up with Yelena Belova, sister of Natasha Romanoff, both former Black Widows, on a mission to destroy a lab in Southeast Asia. She's experiencing a bit of ennui, a bit of frustration at her lack of progress in her professional life, which can we all identify with. She completes her mission, and we cut to Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, the head of America's CIA, who's under question from a U.S. Congressional House Oversight Committee. They're questioning her over her potential wrongdoing, of which she is definitely guilty. After the hearing ends, she decides that she is going to get rid of the evidence against her by destroying evidence of one of her illegal businesses, we'll say business, Oxcorp. Oxcorp has a thing called the Sentry Program. Valentina dispatches a quadrilogy of assassins to destroy the evidence and one another. They include Yelena, also Special Agent John Walker, Ghost, and Taskmaster. All four arrive and they start to battle one another. Taskmaster is killed, and the remaining three form a truce to figure out what's going on because they realize Valentina's double-crossing. In the process of all this, they knock open a stasis pod, which reveals Bob, who we will later discover is Sentry. The four of them decide to escape. They narrowly do from the incinerator that Valentina has activated by her assistant Mel, who plays a surprisingly large part in this movie. The four of them, after having escaped the incinerator, attempt to escape the compound, the mountainous evidence dungeon compound that they find themselves in. However, Valentina has arrived with a recovery force, and they need to escape that as well. They narrowly do so, but in the process, Bob has to sacrifice himself for the other three to escape. Bob, however, is revealed to have his Sentry superpowers, so after being shot, it turns out he's just okay. Then he realizes he can fly. He does so for a few moments, and then he crashes back down to the ground, where Valentina recovers him and takes him back to New York to the new Avengers Tower, which is, I believe, called Watchtower. While this is happening, the three remaining assassins, Yelena, Ghost, and John Walker, escape by foot. However, they're found by Yelena's adopted father, Red Guardian, who had overheard Val talking about the recovery force. Red Guardian arrives in his limo, his beat-up service limo, and they attempt to flee together. They are quickly found by another recovery force of Valentina's. However, Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, arrives. He's now a congressman. He dispatches the recovery team, but he also blows up the limo that the three of them are currently in. Bucky captures them, and he wants to turn them over to the House Oversight Committee so that they can spill the metaphorical beans on Valentina. But before that can happen, it is revealed to Bucky that Bob, Sentry, is a big threat. They all go to Avengers Tower, Watchtower, to confront him. Sentry readily defeats all four of them because he's much more powerful than all of them. And they walk away with their tails between their legs, another metaphor. Valentina, while talking to Bob, comes to the quick realization that Bob is realizing that he is extremely powerful, and Bob attempts to off Valentina. However, Mel, Valentina's assistant, arrives and hits Bob's kill switch, which doesn't kill Bob, it only subdues him, because moments later, the Void, Bob's alter ego, Sentry's alter ego, arises. The Void is, I guess, a supervillain with, I would say like a mind palace prison of sorts. It's kind of what he creates. So, the Thunderbolts, as they're now known, named after not Thunderbolt Ross, but Yelena's crummy childhood soccer team, all rejoin forces to save civilians. Yelena enters the Void and realizes that it's a mind palace. She goes to save Bob to get him to turn against the other side of his ego of the Void. The other Thunderbolts enter as well, and together they work as a team to go through the Mind Palace. They eventually save Bob and free him from the Void, returning them all to the real world, where everyone is alive again, everyone's safe again. Just as the Thunderbolts then go to capture Valentina, Valentina steps through a curtain, and it turns out somehow Valentina had arranged a press conference where she says that all of the Thunderbolts are in fact the new Avengers, and they will be Earth's new heroes. We then roll credits. There's a mid-credit scene, which is a reference to a joke earlier in the movie. And then there is a post-credit scene, which is the reveal that the Fantastic Four are on their way, which only if you are very new to this whole Marvel endeavor would you not be aware of. With this movie stars a lot of people. This movie stars primarily, I would say, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. We've also got Wyatt Russell, Hannah John Kamen. Olga Kurylenko is in here for a moment. I will say that the marketing lied about how much she's in this movie. We've obviously got Louis Pullman in here as well. Sebastian Stan, Geraldine Swan Nathan. I believe I'm mispronouncing your last name. I apologize. Wendell Pierce is in here for a second, as is another gentleman from The Wire, so we got ourselves a little Wire reunion. I think I've named everybody who is a role in this. If I haven't, I apologize as well. So, this movie, for me, this movie's not going to enter my top 10 of Marvels. I'm seeing a lot of people have this in their top 10. For me, the thing that was difficult with this movie is that there was too little comedy, and then the comedy that we did get was either explosively large, and I love that part. I love the Red Guardian part of all of this. Or it was sort of old comedy from the previous era of the Marvel Universe, which comedy evolves, and if you're still doing the same jokes after 15 years, it doesn't quite land as fresh as when Tony Stark was saying it in 2008. And then the other half of this movie is very serious. It deals with the serious subject of mental health, addiction, poor upbringings. I thought that was really interesting to explore. I thought that was really fresh, and I thought this did a great job in exploring that in a way that was different from previous attempts to explore it. All that being said, the meshing of these two portions together didn't work for me overall. I would have liked either all comedy or all serious, or if there was going to be the comedy that there was, I would have liked a little bit more of the explosive big comedy and a little bit less of the hacky quippy comedy. I thought the color palette in this was pretty fun overall. It was pretty dark, but there were some really fun light sequences. I think the desert chase sequence was excellent. I really enjoyed that. The CG in this was really well done. I didn't really see the seams on a lot of stuff, so it was blended really well. Hats off to the VFX team. One of the things that Marvel has been castigated for as of late is that they have been rushing their VFX teams and overworking them and underpaying them and delivering products that aren't great to screen. Not the case with this one. This one looked fully formed, so I hope that the VFX team was rewarded for their good work. The score for this, I enjoyed. Not a standout one, but pretty good overall. I always love some synth, and we got a little bit of synth in this. And I would say that the acting overall was pretty good. David Harbour, obviously the standout. Florence Pugh, very charismatic, although your mileage may vary with her accent. Hannah John Kamen, I thought, was much like a character, a bit of a ghost. Wyatt Russell was great as a jerk. You really wanted to see him lose. The same goes for Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I thought she was great as the villain. Again, you really wanted to see the team hand it to her. Louis Pullman had a tough job as somebody who is mentally unhinged or as suffering through mental health issues because you don't want to play that as comically large and make it seem goofy or unintentionally comedic. And thus he had to portray a lot of his stuff in a very subtle manner, in a very subdued manner, which I think he did a good job of. I don't know how you could have done a better job, frankly, without, again, verging into the comic territory. Comic in the funny sense, not comic in this is a comics sense. So, for me, overall, I would say that this one is, I'm going to say it's in the yay category, between yay, nay, and in between. I think that the mental health take is fresh. I think that the funny parts were very, very funny when it came to Red Guardian and also a little bit the Bucky stuff. You know what? But maybe, though, you're not a fan of B teams or junior varsity teams, as it were, in which case this one might be a nay for you. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Cheers.